Today we're talking about credit. This guy says, what is it? Maybe that's what you're wondering too. Credit is money loans that you have quick access to that you pay back over a certain period of time, usually in a series of payments. Or you pay back at the end of the month, for example, if it's a credit card. Why is it important, you might ask? Credit allows you to make big purchases, car, house, education, allows you to make those big purchases now and pay for it later. Credit is also important because a lot of people will look at your credit score to determine your trustworthiness. So if it's bad, then they're gonna be mad at you. There are some key terms that we need to cover. Principal is the initial amount of money that you borrowed. So let's say that's $100. Interest is the added amount you pay back when you pay it back. This way, the creditors make money off of you. Interest rate is how fast this increases over time. So if you get the money, let's say on Monday, and you get $100 on Monday, if the interest rate goes up $10 every day, then your interest rate is 10%. Credit limit. That's talking about going back to credit card. This is gonna be a long video. Is the amount of money that's actually on it. So when you're paying for shoes and a bike, oh, why did I choose a bike? That's a terrible idea. And let's say you try and buy a hat. If your credit limit is low enough that the $50 shoes and the $100 bike, if your credit limit is $150, then when you go to buy the hat, you have no money left on your credit. So that's the credit limit. There are tons of many examples of types of credit and different things that you can use credit for. As I was talking about before, a car loan is an example of credit. The credit card that we've been talking about, that's credit. Car, you pay for the card now, you pay it off on a series of payments month by month. I don't know what this is. This is a calendar. Home mortgage, that's a similar thing. You pay for it now, you pay it off over a series of months and often years. Credit card, that's that thing you use the money to pay for stuff. At the end of the month, you pay back all the money that you used. Student loans, go to college now, and you're not making a bunch of money because you're learning how to your trade, and then you go to get the job and you pay it back later. Utility bills is also another example. So this is stuff like TV and your phone, and you use the resources and then you pay for them, so that is kind of credit. Now let's talk about why credit is useful. We've learned all of the different things that credit can be used for, but it's useful because it allows you to use the purchase while you're still using it. So while you've paid for the car using credit, so you can drive to work now while you're still paying for it. You also can pay for things you don't have the money for yet. For example, when you're going to college. You're not making money now, but you might later, and so you can make that purchase now in order to increase your ability to make money later. Good credit, remember those? Good credit score allows you to increase your trustworthiness. People are more likely to give you, for example, jobs sometimes look at credit score. Anytime you're taking out a loan, people will look at your credit score. And it also allows you to, instead of making a large purchase at the beginning, you can make a series of small payments over a longer period of time, which lowers the burden. Now let's talk about credit report. This is the analysis of how well you paid off all of your credit debts, and so basically it's an analysis of your trustworthiness. So higher credit score is doesn't it go to 850? Is that what it is? 800? Something like that. A higher credit score is going to make you look more trustworthy, and a lower credit score makes people less likely to give you loans and things like that. It also determines for the creditors, for the people deciding whether to give you money, how risky it would be and how much of an interest rate to give you. So if you have a better credit score, you're more likely to get a lower interest. And by that same rule, a lower credit score is going to lead to a higher interest. All right. So what are some good ways to build that higher credit score, knowing its importance to deals that we're going to make? There are 3 ways that I think are most important. Well, number 1, pay your bills on time. The reason that you need to pay your bills on time is because if you don't pay your bills on time, that interest that's adding money every so often and making your debt go up, when you pay it on time, the interest doesn't increase, and when you pay it late, every time you pay it late, that interest gets added on and your debt increases, and that leads to a lower credit score. 2, get a good mix of credit. There are different categories of credit, but generally, if you have a credit card, like a home mortgage, and regular utilities, maybe a car loan in there. This is a good mix. If you just have a bunch of credit cards, that's going to be less valuable to your credit score. You just are paying off a home mortgage. They don't know how well you're doing on these. So you want to cover all your bases and get a good mix of credit to increase your credit score. Third thing, check. Your credit score is available for free. Oftentimes, I think Experian has a free service that will allow you to check your credit score. And it's super important because sometimes there are mistakes that only you can fix. And that is credit.